Race Amity Day Dialogue in Greenbelt, June 12, 2022. Welcome to our second Race Amity Day Dialogue in Greenbelt. The Greenbelt Baha'i community has organized the program, and we are delighted to have co-sponsors, two co-sponsors, Connecting Across Greenbelt and the Greenbelt Racial Equity Alliance. And as you will hear later in the program, we have been inspired to do this by the National Center for Race Amity, and you'll learn something about them. So the program tonight, we will hear from Mayor Jordan with a proclamation for Race Amity Day. There will be a vision video from the National Center for Race Amity. There will be a story about the friendship between Rabbi Abraham Heschel and Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. We will have our discussion, which may go on for an hour if you all keep it up and have stories to share. We will end with a poem by Maya Angelou, and there will be some announcements from you, and some are already in my slide deck. Mayor Emmett Jordan.
Good evening. My name is Emmett Jordan. I'm mayor of the city of Greenbelt. I'm out of town at a conference tonight, and I can't participate on this call in person, but yeah, I want to share this proclamation with you. It reads as follows. Whereas the motto of the Great Seal of the United States is the pluribus unum, out of many, one, and whereas the Greenbelt Community Pledge states the strength of Greenbelt is diverse people living together in a spirit of cooperation, and whereas the city of Greenbelt is comprised of multicultural, multi-ethnic, and multiracial people, and whereas race relations in America will not substantially improve until and unless the public discourse on race moves beyond the blame, grievance, rejection framework to one of that recognizes and celebrates our ability to overcome racial prejudice through association, amity, and collaboration. And whereas friendship, collegiality, civility, respect, and kindness are commonly held ideas in the city of Greenbelt, and whereas Race Amity Day is a celebration observed nationally to promote racial harmony and global understanding, now therefore be it resolved that I, Emmett V. Jordan, Mayor of Greenbelt, by the authority vested in me by the residents and City Council of Greenbelt, do hereby proclaim the second Sunday in June as Race Amity Day. And I also encourage all of our residents to reflect on the meaning and spirit of this occasion and participate fittingly in this observance. So I'd like to congratulate Greenbelt's Baha'i community and Connecting Across Greenbelt for once again coordinating this activity. Thank you for all you do for the residents of Greenbelt. It's my hope that the fruits of this dialogue will continue to manifest throughout the entire year. So on behalf of the Greenbelt City Council, thank you.
Now I'd like to recognize Louis Rosado from Connecting Across Greenbelt.
Good evening. My assignment was sharing the feedback from Bridging Communities, the May 25th Peace March. And this has been provided by the Greenbelt Racial Equity Alliance, or GRIA. And the survey that was sent out had to do with, one, has there been progress? There are groups working actively to bring people together, and that is true. People in the workplace, apparently since the hiring of the new HR person, they've been doing a lot of work around the issue of anti-racist work, and equity work. And they've been promoting awareness of racial equity and steps to improve that. There are more people of color on the committees, and there are more, there's more ethnic diversity in Old Greenbelt, and there have been elected more individuals on the city council, but obstacles still remain. And these obstacles have to do with apathy, white privileged, closed hearts, history of housing discrimination, racial inequity in healthcare, entrenched racism, that is not acknowledged, dishonesty, insincerity, and hypocrisy. Learning curve for listening can be staggering. Hesitation to speak to someone you don't know. And what are some of the solutions to this? Learn about racism, listen to people of color, speak out, challenge white privilege, more genuine conversation, support one another, bring Race Amity Day to every community. Check out the National Center for Race Amity, and dialogues. There definitely needs to be much more dialogues in Greenbelt. And next year, it's going to be very interesting because the theme next year for the anniversary month of Black History is going to be anti-Blackness and the struggle in the diaspora to challenge it. So I hope next year we'll also be able to include actions and ideas from the Baha'i community as well as other groups in Greenbelt about how to organize so that we can have some dialogue on these topics. Thank you.
Thank you, Lois. The whole idea of capturing these feedbacks during this outdoor activity on May the 25th was a wonderful idea. And we really appreciate that they were provided to us so that we can share them and so they get some airtime. I wanted to put a nail in the coffin of racism. Race is a social concept, not a scientific one. This is the year 2000, and it's stated by Craig Venter. If you were following the news 22 years ago, he was the leader of the group that sequenced the human genome, the private group. And his team of researchers declared unanimously that there is only one race, the human race. And if you ask them how they figured that out, they would say, if you look at the percentage of your genes reflected in your external appearance, the basis by which we talk about race, the answer seems to be in the range of 0.01, which is kind of like zero to some people.
We need to get this research out. It's 22 years and it's not acted on at all.
I want to introduce the National Center for Race Amity because they are our inspiration for this program. And the acronym NCRA, they have for at least the last 6 years been calling on the US Congress for a joint resolution to establish the second Sunday in June, like today, of each year as a National Race Amity Day, a time for Americans to reflect and affirm the dignity of the diverse racial, cultural, and religious backgrounds of the human mosaic that constitutes the United States of America. That's their words. And if you are interested in finding out more about them, they hold a National Race Amity Conference. It will be in November, and its purpose is to cross-pollinate ideas among like-minded individuals and groups already working for race amity. A year ago, we held the first Race Amity dialogue in Greenbelt on Zoom, and we showed part of the National Center for Race Amity's film, An American Story, Race Amity and the Other Tradition. You may have been here and seen some of that. I wanted to remind you what the other tradition is. It refers to friendship across racial lines versus the other tradition of racism. And about a year ago, the same organization released a 5-part series of 30-minute video films titled almost the same thing, American Stories, Race Amity and the Other Tradition, distributed on public television. And so it's out there playing on public television, but it's not for sale. So we don't have it here. as a tool yet. But what we do have is a little bit of their material. This is a short National Center for Race Amity video that shares the organization's vision.
The reason we focus on race amity is that friendship is such a powerful, powerful source of engaging with others and to bringing about change.
Race amity combined with education is the key to the future of this country.
And it's so simple, it's totally overlooked. We forge ahead saying, well, we got to get people to do this, we got to make them do that. And friendship ultimately gets to the heart, and that's really the transformative, lasting impact. Our mission is to advance discourse on race and to promote it through creating friendships and friendship opportunities. We have a range of participants, from high school students to world-renowned scholars and professors who come and speak. And we create these relationships, these human relationships.
And I love this conference because it always reminds me of the goodness of people, just the amount of eagerness to be one human family.
The phrase oneness of humanity keeps getting used. And that's, at least from my experience, that's typically a phrase that's used by Baha'is. The more conversations I have, the more people I don't know if they're Baha'i or not, which for me is very affirming. It's affirming of the mission of the Baha'i faith, because it's the right time. People are teeming with the feelings of unity and oneness, and they're looking for whatever outlet or space they can find to express it, and that we're not alone on that pathway.
Please welcome Governor William Winter.
I don't know how this old governor of what at one time probably could be called the most segregated racist state in the nation could be standing here with these true heroes. But let us not rest on our laurels. Let us not be assured that we are always going to move in the right direction. We will move in the right direction only as enough of us insist that we not slip back. And there are forces of division abroad in the country today that would push us back. And we must not let that happen.
You know, what are the critical factors for advancing cross-racial, cross-cultural understanding?
I work at public radio. I've always felt like I need to make sure that I understand and sit down next to people who are different from me. I grew up that way. My parents are like that. I came up and I was a Medal of Honor Award winner last year. And I remember walking away feeling like I need to come back. This is awesome. This is exactly the way I think. There are like 100 other people who are the same way. It's very gratifying.
You know, I used to think that race and racism belonged to black and brown people, and that as a white person, that my only role in healing racism could be to be friendly or to help and fix people who, in fact, I had been taught to see as broken or less than. And so waking up white to me means waking up to see that I am right smack in the middle of the story of United States racism, and my job is to come in and say, being a good person isn't necessarily enough. Like, we really do need to kind of dig into this tragic history in order to face it, work through it, and move beyond it.
We have to know each other. We have to learn to live with each other. We have to respect each other. We have to recognize our differences, but respect those differences. Understand that we don't all have to come from the same cultural background or the same ideological background, but we do come from the same background of being a human being. We're all members of one race. We are members of the human race.
The The picture on the right is Smitty Smith, the director of the National Center for Race Amity. You saw him in the film. And this is one of his quotes. I just love it. The beauty of race amity is that it is within everyone's capacity. You don't have to go out and join something. We are all capable of engaging in the work of race amity because we all have friends. We all have the capacity to develop relationships with people across racial, cultural, ethnic, and class lines. Smitty Smith.
We're going to profile the story of the friendship between Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I would say not just friendship, but partnership in work on their mission. They met in January 1963 at the Chicago Conference on Religion and Race, organized by the National Conference of Christians and Jews, and became immediate friends. Dr. King's speech included these words: "The churches and synagogues have an opportunity and a duty to lift up their voices like a trumpet and declare unto the people the immorality of segregation." Rabbi Heschel's speech began, "At the first conference on religion and race, the main participants were Pharaoh and Moses. The outcome of that summit meeting has not come to an end. Pharaoh is not ready to capitulate. The Exodus began, but is far from having been completed. In fact, it was easier for the children of Israel to cross the Red Sea than for a Negro to cross certain university campuses." The two hit it off personally. Both were students of philosophy. One of Heschel's closest friends was Reinhold Niebuhr, who King greatly admired. Both were married to musicians. They shared a similar take on religion as well as civil discourse. Both had conservative religious upbringings enhanced by theological education among reformists. Heschel, born in 1907 to a multi-generational Hasidic family in Warsaw, studied at the Reform Movement's seminary in Berlin. King, born in 1929 into an Atlanta family of ministers, attended the Ebenezer Baptist Church, where his grandfather, Reverend A.D. Williams, was pastor, and then studied at the liberal Protestant Crozer Theological Seminary. Heschel earned a doctorate in philosophy at the University of Berlin, and King completed his similar doctorate at Boston University. As Dr. King encouraged Rabbi Heschel's participation in the civil rights movement, Rabbi Heschel encouraged Dr. King to take a stance against the war in Vietnam. Both men found that their social consciousness informed their religiousness and vice versa. They spoke at the same conferences more than a few times. And when King spoke at the United Synagogue of America's Golden Jubilee Convention in 1963 in New York, he talked about the oppressed brothers and sisters who happened to be Jews in Soviet Russia. King felt that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. On March 21st, 1965, Heschel answered the call for religious leaders to join the march from Selma to Montgomery for voting rights. The night before the march, many of the leaders were guests at the same home. In the morning, they found each other in his corner of the house saying morning prayers. The two friends marched together and crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge arm in arm. Heschel found it to be a spiritual experience and later said that he felt his legs were praying. Both men spoke against the Vietnam War at Riverside Church on April 4th, 1967. Heschel following King and ending with, "I conclude with the words of Dr. King. The great initiative of this war is ours. The initiative to stop it must be ours." Dr. King once said of his friend, "Rabbi Heschel is one of the persons who is relevant at all times, always standing with prophetic insights to guide persons with a social consciousness." According to Rabbi Heschel's daughter, Susanna, her father came to this calling naturally. When he arrived after fleeing pogroms, the local Yiddish newspapers were reporting loudly about the pogroms here in the United States, referring to the lynchings of Black persons. Jews are taught that we do not look the other way, we act. The relationship came to an abrupt finality shortly after Dr. King spoke in 1968 at a celebration of Rabbi Heschel's 60th birthday, organized by the Rabbinical Assembly of America. Dr. King was murdered 10 days later, and Rabbi Heschel spoke at his funeral.
To have a lively discussion today, we just want to follow the following Zoom etiquette. We can stay muted until you speak. Raise your electronic hand to be called on to speak. It's more easily seen. And then keep comments short to give time to others. And we will be turning off the recording now.
I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious, some thrive on comedy. Some declare their lives are lived as true profundity, and others claim they really live the real reality. The variety of our skin tones can confuse bemused delight, brown and pink and beige and purple, tan and blue and white. I've sailed upon the 7 seas and stopped in every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, not yet one common man. I know 10,000 women called Jane and Mary Jane. I've not seen any two who really were the same. Mirror twins are different, although their features jibe, and lovers think quite different thoughts while lying side by side. We love and lose in China. We weep on England's moors, and laugh and moan in Guinea, and thrive on Spanish shores. We seek success in Finland, are born and die in Maine. In minor ways we differ, in major we're the same. I note the obvious differences between each sort and type, but we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike.